All right, and we are back with the Blame Girl podcast with
Mr. Terry Wayne.
And
Wow,
Alicia.
that was a very polite introduction, Terry. And
That's
we got
right.
Alicia Simmons Miracle in the house. Welcome, Alicia.
Thank you for having me.
I'm trying to get my since I'm
Can you hear
moving
me?
back to
Yes,
I'm moving
we're-
back to Tennessee. I'm trying to get my Southern hospitality back together. You know.
Oh, okay. Because Terry's not normally polite. I actually warned Alicia about that, and you're like showing out. You're showing out.
But don't try and pigeonhole me. You know.
Alicia,
I
how was
watched
your
the
weekend?
show. It was good. What did I do this weekend? I had a full weekend. I went and did like a interview for a comedy documentary in Pensacola on Sunday. And Saturday, what did we do on Saturday? It's like a blur. Saturday is like a blur, but I know I did something. Oh, my husband and my son went to a wrestling show. So I got some me time. So that's what I did Saturday.
Wrestling? You mean a wrestling show?
A wrestling, yep. A wrestling show.
No. Wrestling is what they do in the Olympics. What you're talking about, I think, is wrestling.
Right, yes. It's
yes.
some ghetto.
Where was it at?
It was in my town in Panama City Beach. So it was some redneck wrestling. But no, you know what? It's a actual group that travels around, but not the WWE. So my family is big into wrestling. My husband paints wrestlers.
Wrestlers.
Yeah. It's artwork.
We get it. Terry. Stop. All right. So you did the wrestling, and that sounds like a
wrestling.
And then I went to Pensacola on Sunday for a documentary and for a Buddhist meeting.
What's the documentary?
It's this comedian Andrew Farrar. He is doing a documentary about local comedians in the Panhandle and the scene growing here in the Panhandle and Car Cake. His thing is Car Cake production. So he has this great story about how you can help people out on the circuit with Car Cake. Meaning like it's pull a frosting alarm if you need help, if your car get broken down or you're in a city, you don't know nobody and somebody can hook you up with a place to stay while you do a show or something. So it's a community. And so he interviewed a lot of comedians. Yeah, it is really good. It's good. I'm glad that he asked me to be a part of it.
For sure.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice. Okay. So Terry, how was your weekend?
It was great. That's it.
You want to tell us what you did?
I didn't do anything. That's why it was great. You know.
What? I swear I called you and you're like, I'm busy.
Oh, I was I told you I was making food at the time. But yeah. But I still took the time to talk to you because that's what good friends do.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, I was talking.
It was very funny because Alicia, I called Terry to run a joke by him, and
that is great.
Go ahead and tell her, Terry.
She called me and she's like, "I got this joke, but I think I might have heard it somewhere before. You tell me." And she starts doing the joke, and I laugh at it. I'm like, "That's funny," and she goes, "Right, it is funny." She's like, "I just think like I've heard it before." I was like, "Yeah, you heard it from me. That's from my set like a year ago." I've done it before in front of your face.
Yeah, it was a little bit different, but it was
a little bit different, but all the bones were the same. Like it was all pretty much.
Not a joke you'll catch me doing. I'm glad I ran it by Terry before.
You can,
before he showed up to the show and you was on stage doing his material.
I don't give a shit. I honestly don't care. In the 11 years,
anyway, how I do.
Well, I'm still doing comedy. Like I'm gonna do comedy in Nashville up at Zany's, but no. But in the 11 years I've been doing stand up, I think it's happened 3 times where somebody did my joke, and I've never fucking cared at all. It doesn't even bother me.
I get mad.
The interesting part is one time I did a joke. I was hosting at the Improv for like one of the new faces, and a kid came up that had started like a month before. He did his set, and then I saw him the next night at Brew House, which was a different open mic, and I did this joke about that game. Would you rather? And then he wrote a furious message to me on like Facebook or something, complaining about I had stolen his joke, and he was so mad. He was so mad. And I was like, dude,
somebody was already out here stealing his jokes.
Yeah, exactly. He's been doing it. I said, how long have you been doing this? And he said, I'll be going on like 40 days. Like he was at that point where he's still going, he's still talking in days. He's still talking in days. Jokes. And I said, are you sure this is your joke? And he's like, well, you hosted from me the night before at the Improv, and now all of a sudden you're just pulling out this joke that's so close to mine. And I was like, well, it's not a new joke for me. I was actually bringing old bits back. And I said, but it's fine. I said, I don't really feel like they're the same. They just talk about would you rather, right? It's just the premise of the joke is would you rather. I said, but I feel like they're totally separate. And he goes, no, absolutely not. This is you totally ripped me off. And I was like, okay. And I was like, hang on. And I went because I used to record everything. So I went and found a YouTube video from like 2 years earlier of me doing the same joke at the Improv. And I said, listen, I still feel like they're different. And I still feel like, so you feel free to do my joke anytime you want. Yeah. Because he was so certain. And it's something we call country dumb, right? Back in Tennessee is where you're right. So you just let the person just keep going and going and going. You just give them the rope and they just hang themselves. Because eventually when I showed him the video, he's like, oh, well, my bad. And I was like, no, I still stick to what I said. They're not the same joke and you can feel free to do yours. And he goes, no, I can't. It's too close. And I was like, well, you said that. I didn't say that.
Do I get that pass though?
Yes, you can get that pass. If you can sell it, because that's a tough joke. The one that you pitched me is a tough joke because it deals with tough, it deals with suicide and circumstantially it's a tough, that is a tough joke.
But mine is way lighter than yours, by the way.
Okay. It is not way lighter.
It is.
You're still talking about killing. It doesn't matter. It's a tough joke. And if you can make it work, go for it. Because I've had trouble with that joke since I wrote it.
Well, maybe I'll be able to make it work. Okay, because
if you can make it work,
mine's more silly. Mine's more silly.
Go for it.
All right. So anyway, I'll talk about my weekend.
Yes.
Nobody cares.
We got off topic. I know. No,
it's okay. It's okay.
That's all right. We drift around these.
That's
parts,
fine. That's fine.
We just drift around. It's fine.
So Friday I had come to Fort Myers. I'm in Fort Myers right now. You see this little background for a trial. And I drove home and went to the Doghouse Theater, did a show at the Doghouse on Friday night. And then Saturday, I did nothing. It was nice. I had a friend in town.
It is nice. It's nice not doing anything.
She had left on Saturday and I just did nothing. And then Sunday, I'm lying. Saturday, I did some work. I had to do some work because I've been in trial. Like it's been consuming a little bit of my time. So I did a little bit of work, but then that night I didn't go anywhere is what I meant. I did nothing. I didn't go out. I didn't do comedy. I just stayed at home. Sunday, we came back to Fort Myers and I actually hopped on the show here in Fort Myers last night at Ollie's. Shout out to Stacy Steele, who referred me to Shelly Kelly out here on the West Coast. So that was fun. I do jokes in front of some new people. So that was my weekend. But anyway, are y'all ready to do some blaming?
Been waiting all day.
Yeah, yes.
All day?
Yes. My husband said I'm a big blamer. I blame a lot of people on my problems.
You're gonna have fun here then. All right. So first up, Alex Jones. We don't like Alex Jones over in these parts, but we're gonna talk about him anyway. His text came out public, and we knew that he was a trash public figure, but he is also a trash significant other, y'all. Who's to blame?
His supplements.
His supplements.
You mean like the Viagra or
No,
No,
he sells supplements on his crazy little show.
Yeah, that's the whole point of his show, is for him to sell his shit and make money.
All we hear is his bullshit, but
Rogan
actually he makes his money selling supplements to people.
That's right. Yeah,
you know, that's how he
that's
do
where
it.
all his money really comes from.
You know what? I blame. He's just he a shady motherfucker. I can cuss on here.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. He is so shady that all his chickens are coming home to roost. So,
cuss your fucking heart out.
Yeah. So I mean, like his own people in his camp are turning on him, leaking all his shit. His own lawyers was like, listen, this motherfucker is lying. He paying us, but here's how y'all win. Y'all
should have paid him better. Should have paid him
his
better.
own lawyers. So I just say his supplements are to blame. Yeah, he need to get some brain supplements or something.
He has that. It's the alpha brain thing, and that his.
Oh, that shit. It's a pea
alpha
brain
shit. Yeah. Maybe he needs more. That's what it is.
Who are you blaming on this?
Maybe he's like Kanye and he's off his meds. You know.
Yeah.
Who do I blame? Who do I blame for Alex Jones? I blame us, all of us in American society, because you got to remember, like she just said, the only reason he still exists because people buy his shit, and that's it. And that's what con men do. Con men look for situations or ideas that people are insecure about, or they are questioning, or the world's too big, and we all know it now. Ever since the invention of the internet, we all know how big the world is now, and it's too big for us. It's too big for our brains to handle it. So there'll always be people coming around saying, I got the answers. I got this answer. I got that answer. Whether it's Joel Osteen or Creflo Dollar or Alex Jones or whoever saying, no, I got this all figured out. Just follow me and you'll be content. Take this pill and you'll be fine. No, we're broken.
I think you're misreading my question.
What's that?
He is a trash significant other.
You shouldn't know his name.
He was cheating on his wife. He was texting his mistress to run him.
That's like the least.
He's stalking both his ex-wives.
That's why he got two ex-wives. Because I was like, isn't he like divorced?
Yeah.
But he got remarried. And so he got
all this shit with his
be wanting to crawl up on him. He just looked like a fat ass orangutan.
All this shit in his personal life is like the least dangerous thing he does.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's hard to even take it
let's
seriously.
Talk about it tonight. That's what we're talking about.
Well, I know, but it's hard to take it.
He's texting his wife's nudes to Roger Stone.
It's like,
he's trash. As a husband.
Of course he's trash. Of course he is.
Why is he trash as a husband? Is it because he's just a trash human, period?
Yes. And he's proven that for like 10 years that he's a trash human. And you shouldn't even know his name. The only reason you know his name is because he is a symptom of what's wrong with our society.
Yes.
The fact that he's notable.
He lied on them kids. He called those people crisis actors, and we will never forget about that. That's why he's acting.
And his bank account won't neither, and that's good. They better get all their
That's the only way you hurt
that translates into his romantic life.
Right.
That's the only way you hurt these people is hit them in the wallet, because that's the only thing to give a shit about. That's what they care about. They sold their soul for that money a long time ago. So take that money away, and that's what really hurts them. You know, you think he gives a shit about negative publicity over, shit he says about his exes and stalking people? No, he doesn't fucking care. Are you crazy? But you hit him in the wallet, and all of a sudden they pay attention and be like, oh, maybe I need to change a little. So.
Well, I mean, trash just seems to go around, y'all.
Just remember, people that are famous are just a reflection of us. That's it. We made them famous. We show them eyeballs, which gives them that money and that clout and that power. So it's us.
Let me ask y'all, is George Santos, who has lied to everyone, a reflection of us?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, he is.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, it used to be a thing where you took pride in wanting to be a politician and you want to do the right thing, but now politicians are worse than ever. You know, you got like people like him, like that. The whole thing about him is that this is his first real paying job and he is not leaving it, you know? So that tells you a great deal about our society as a whole when someone lies all the way to get themselves into Congress and they've been found out, but he not getting fired. Like any one of us know if we lied the way that this man lied on a day job, we would no longer have that job. But he is not being let go from his position whatsoever. And he going to be collecting a pension for the rest of his daggone life if he stays in Congress long enough.
He's lied to everyone, y'all. Who is to blame for that? Why?
You're going to love this one. I'm going to tell you who's to blame for that. You know who's to blame? Wrestling. That's who's to blame, is wrestling. Because the same impulse that makes grown men watch what they know to be, you know, staged athletics, right? But we love the drama. We love it. We love the drama. We put our eyeballs on it. We'll spend our money on it because we love that drama. We love the political drama. Ever since 2015, when Trump came into the picture, he absolutely changed the game, because now it wasn't about who you are or what you did. I mean, even before Trump got elected president, any one of those scandals would have sunk any other politician that I've ever seen in my life. Any one of them would have sunk his career. But that got him elected, was because, oh, look at the drama. Oh, he's different. Oh, he's an outsider. Oh, he doesn't care. He's grabbing him by the pussy. It doesn't really matter. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they like that.
And they did. But that's us. That's us. You can't say they. That's us.
I blame reality TV. I blame
same thing.
Reality TV, because that's we crave reality TV, and I watch a lot of reality shows. I watch like The Housewives and Love and Hip Hop and all of that stuff, and I watch it sometimes for the drama, because I'll run away from a street fight.
Alicia Simmons saying it right here live.
I'm just saying, like
if
it's on TV and it's a car crash happening on the screen with a bunch of people, I can be safely in my home watching it. But if it pops off at the club I'm out of there. You know what I'm saying? So I blame reality TV. I used to think that reality TV would fade out, but now it's like it's mega celebrity is reality television, and Trump I even watched The Apprentice, and I was like, it was entertaining. It was entertaining. And I grew up in New Jersey, right next to New York, knowing everybody on the ground there know how much of a deviant he is, but he made good television with his show. So everybody is doing that. And that's what he did with the presidency. He's like, I got to make good television for them. You know, people, the whole thing about the pandemic, people talked about like their daily dosage of crazy with those with those press conferences and him, you know, like him just coming out, just spouting just crazy shit, and that none of us with half a brain in our body would be like, this is okay, you know? So reality television is the blame for Trump, George Santos, and fucking Alex Jones. All of them.
Like Republicans are just liars. Because they'd be
Democrats lie too.
Democrats lie too. Republicans be telling
they all lie.
The most lies.
Yeah. But the thing is, Republicans hold you down to they'll make their lie true. They'll lie so good they start believing it and like, I'm getting away with this. I'm not going to stop.
To the point of delusion, like those kids didn't get killed in Colorado.
Hey, listen. Listen. First of all, it wasn't Colorado, but unless you're talking about Columbine.
So it was
I was talking about
Newtown, Connecticut.
Massachusetts, but.
Oh, I don't know why I thought it was Colorado.
Newton, Massachusetts. Isn't that what it was?
No, you talking about the children?
Yeah.
That was Newtown, Connecticut.
Okay. I thought you said Newton. Sorry.
It's okay.
I don't even know where I don't even know where I was. Yeah, Sandy Hook. Exactly. It damn sure ain't Colorado. I know that.
No.
No, but that
Connecticut,
again, we have to bring it back to ourselves. Okay. because we're the ones that tolerate it. We're the ones. And I know that everyone here, sure, has a brain and they, and they use good judgment, but that's not us. Us is a 350 million people collective of the American society, and the fact that we let it happen because we can do things. And I'm not talking about just go out and vote and that kind of shit. Yes, do that. Obviously, that's your basic civic duty, is to go out and make your voice heard. But we, on a personal level, we do it because we allow our neighbors, our friends, our family members to go out and promote and believe and push this agenda of nonsense without consequence. I mean, just, that's crazy, Uncle blah blah. You know what I mean?
That ain't my family.
That is not the way it works in a lot of the other developed world. The other developed countries. They actually no, they will actually. I've seen it with my own eyes that they will actually, if somebody gets too far gone, they just go nope, and they just literally just ostracize them, and they just go nope. I've seen it myself. Say,
Alicia?
Well, I just say I beg to differ that there are some Americans, I've had to cut some people off too, that I was like, wow, they was sending me all of those YouTube videos of propaganda that I knew wasn't true. I'm like, I can make a YouTube video in the darkness of a room in my house, and make it sell. But the thing is, Americans are always seeking outside of themselves for something more. We have not learned our worth at all. So we flock to liars. And and some of the people that voted for George Santos, some of the people that listen to InfoWars know that they're being fed lies, but they like the tone. They like the whole rah-rah.
It's a delicious meal to them, right?
Yeah, it is. And it's like red meat. But the thing is, I always take this back to Jonestown, how Jim Jones was able to get so many people to flock to him because he had the answers for them. And all he did was integrate a church. When it comes down to it, he was like, Black and white people should be worshiping together. We're all God's children. And people was like, we love you. He went to San Francisco and he ended up murdering all his flock.
That's how he got all those followers, girl. What?
Yeah, he got all of those followers, but it's because we're always seeking outside ourselves. We're always looking for who got the answer because we too fucking lazy to do it for ourselves. We're too
what did we just talk about with fucking Alex Jones? Because people are wrong. If the world's too big, who's got answers? Do you got answers? It doesn't matter if they're right answers. Does it make me feel good? Does it make me feel at peace? That's all people want, is to because look at fucking COVID and everything that happened there. Everything that happened with COVID is pretty fucking basic as far as scientifically.
Yes.
Right? It's a respiratory disease. It spread super fast, which was, everybody was like, oh, well, it's not deadly. It's not deadly for everybody. It killed more than 1 million Americans in a year. But again, not super deadly on the disease rankings. However, people just couldn't wrap their heads around the fact that if everybody got sick all at the same time, those death numbers are going to go through the roof because there's nobody to help you. There's nobody to help you if you're all sick at the same time. So what do? They just invented shit. Oh, it's a this or it's a that or it's a, none of it's real or it's just overblown, because.
And they turned against the science.
Yes, exactly. Because
and vaccinations now, like they villainize. How you villainizing vaccinations when it's a requirement to go to school to have your children vaccinated? And what happened? And the thing is,
because so many people are like, "Oh, vaccinations cause autism,"
They
use get in here, guys. I think, in summary of those last two, lies do disrupt the peace. You know what I mean? These lies, these great lies about COVID, about who George Santos, our next representative, is. He's a liar, and Alex Jones just profiting. that disrupts the peace. You know what else disrupts
it's misinformation. It's
Let me
misinformation.
get in here. I'm trying to transition. You know what else disrupts
you
the
transition
peace?
too fast.
No, it's already
Go ahead,
7:30.
G.
Anyway, what disrupts the peace now also is Chinese spy balloons.
Oh,
such
A Chinese spy balloon was spotted over South Carolina and shot down last week.
I like
that way.
Who's to blame? Now,
so
the Chinese
stupid.
say it was science. They were doing it for science, but they did invade our
I mean, like,
well,
go ahead, Terry.
Well, this one kind of annoys me a lot because it's such a non-story. Okay, first of all, yes, there are conspiracies already about it because they're like, oh, do you know the place where that balloon was floating around also happens to be one of 3 locations in the continental U.S. that has intercontinental ballistic missiles? And I was like, no, but I know that they have fucking satellites looking down at us all the time. Like the Chinese already have, they don't need a balloon. They don't need to go back to man's third invention.
No.
They have satellites in the sky that can literally just zoom down within 100-yard area.
Yeah, I mean, they can hack everything.
Nonsense.
They got fast speed internet. They get,
but it's a stupid idea, which makes it it's a stupid idea, but that's why people are eating it up, because unfortunately a lot of people are not, super bright. So if you feed them a stupid story that makes sense to them, then they're like, oh yeah, spy balloons. It's like, what about the fucking
nobody's
satellites?
reading at all. And that's the problem.
Nobody reads.
Nobody picking up books. They too busy burning books and banning books and stuff. And not.
They read the headline. They read the headline, and then they don't read the article. That's what we don't
read the article. And if it's too, and I have to say, I read some articles online, and I am shocked and awe of the spell check and the grammar corrections on some fucking art. I was like, is this like, are they still in the process of adding this article and it just got downloaded by accident?
It's so bad.
It's like, you see like the corrections and stuff, and I was like, this their first draft right here. They need to pull this back. But it is that thing of everybody is, education is just slowly deteriorating.
Well, I've been saying it for years. I've been saying it since we started this podcast. I've been saying it for the last 20 years. America has a cultural war. That is true. I don't want to sound like a conservative, but there is a culture war. But it's not a culture war between us. It's a culture war on intelligence. Yeah, that intelligence is looked down. It's looked down on now. Even Chris Rock was saying this back in the 90s. If you go watch, I think it was his Bigger and Blacker special, where he's like, you get more respect coming out of prison than you do getting coming out of Harvard.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Oh, what, you smart now? Oh, you smart. You know what I mean? And that's the way we honestly look at it. And they called it the elites now. Yeah. Oh, if you're educated, you're one of the elites. No, I think you're one of the elites if you're in the top 1% financially. Then you're one of the elites.
If you're educated, you got debt.
Exactly. If you're educated, I think if you've got a master's degree, do you know what you do? You're a teacher making $42,000 a year. You're not an elite.
No,
but that's what it is.
And it's
just like,
no, we was talking about the balloon,
Alicia,
and Terry was saying that people believe everything instead of reading, and I was like, yes, people don't read anymore. And Terry was saying they read the headline.
The Chinese spy balloon was real.
But she chose to go to the bathroom.
It is real,
Alicia,
but
this is her problem, not ours.
It is real. The spy balloon is real. But China, like Terry was saying, satellites.
They have satellites above us right now.
And how many times, like if you go to California, if you run a red light, you're gonna get a ticket in the mail. They got cameras all over the place and stuff.
I just got one. It happens here in Florida. I just got one in the mail.
And China can hack every bit of the systems. We can hack other people's systems as well. So it's a big nothing.
That's what it is a big nothing. When I saw this story, I thought that I was like,
China
We got spy balloons too. What?
No,
Right.
we don't have spy balloons. We have fucking satellites
Lights,
that hover in space that we can move around. It's not.
But the spy balloon was in airspace. They had to shut airspace down, so that's a little fucked up.
No, it's nothing. This is a nothing story for nothing people to click on and create.
You are not alarmed, huh, Terry?
Not
China with
whatsoever.
the robot dogs and the spying balloons. And no, I'm just kidding.
Like I said, like I was telling Alicia, people are getting dumber and dumber, and because of that, they need simple stories they can understand. Oh, it's a spy balloon. Oh, really? No. Fucking TikTok takes more information than that on a daily basis. What are you going to do with a goddamn balloon?
I'm really glad that you brought up how much dumber and dumber Americans are getting, because Ohio's education department is investigating a white supremacist homeschooling network that shares Nazi-related resources. So who's to blame for this, guys?
Whites. If we would just stop being better at everything, then
I beg to differ.
No, I'm kidding. No, it's again, this whole episode should be stupidity and getting dumber and dumber and dumber. I mean, it's so.
If it's not stupidity, it has to be. Everybody needs a leader. Everybody is looking for someone to look up to, and part of that is, if they speak that language, people get villainized, right? Like, you could be sitting next to somebody in a classroom that's a different color. But if you go home every day and that person is being villainized in your household for them being Mexican or Black or even white, you going to follow that because you're being fed that. And that is
I'm going to challenge that.
But I think
I'm going to challenge
some oversight when it comes to homeschooling. Like,
they're supposed to have oversight in homeschooling.
But Ohio doesn't.
Well, they do, but only educationally. All you have to do is say our kids can pass the same test your kids can.
That's it. It's all about standardized tests.
All the extra stuff doesn't matter. I know my dad used to have a Christian school in Pompano.
He plans on homeschooling when he has kids. So
I do. Oh yeah, I would never send my kid to public school. No, I'm not. I just remember what they taught me, and I'm like, no.
Some people grow out of that because they see the world differently, because they leave their area and go out in the world. They're not staying in that same neighborhood.
Absolutely.
And they're going out and they're like, that was a lie. It's like Malcolm X taking that pilgrimage to Mecca and seeing like, wait, it's a lot of different colors of Muslims. Like that wasn't honest to me.
Alicia is absolutely right there. Because the difference between myself now and myself in my early 20s before I had left the country and gone to a different country, worlds apart. And I've said this to everyone in my life, everyone I care about. I'm like, if you care about yourself, if you care about your kids, if you want to have a fulfilled life, get the fuck out of here. Go see other places where everything's different. Go to a place where you're the foreigner. And then you'll start to understand it's like, oh, there's not just one way to live. There's not just one. And you don't even have to go to any place crazy. You can still go to places like that have Subway and McDonald's and shit. Just go
gotta make sure McDonald's there though.
Yeah, exactly. Go to Spain, go to Brazil. It doesn't matter. I
think that's true, because like as soon as I hit the word, like left and went to Italy, I was blown away. I was like, there's Black people in Italy? Like, it never dawned on me that there were Black people all throughout the world, I guess, until I left.
There's white people in Mexico. Yeah, it happened.
There's a whole city.
There are Asian people in Mexico that speak Mexican. Like, you know what I mean? And it's in your brain is broken because it's not what you're expecting. But that's kind of like what Alicia said. She said that you're being fed that from somewhere else. I'm going to challenge that just because
it's like American culture. You're fed that from American culture.
You're just fed that. No, you're fed that from human instinct. That's part of us. We are very tribalistic when we have to. You could talk about today and race, okay, yeah, or we can go back 1,000 years to centralized Africa where warring tribes went back and forth because they wore red and you wore blue. It's all about just feeling comfortable. Nobody knows what's going on. We all are these sentient beings. We're the only, think about this, we're the only animal on the earth that knows we're going to die. Do you get that? We're the only animal that knows.
I mean, do we really know that for a fact? Because I'm pretty sure.
Well, no, I'm saying that we know
we have an
ends.
expiration date.
Yes, we know our life will begin and end. We're the only, that is exclusive
maybe some
to
animals. I don't know that we know that for sure.
I know they have instincts
you don't know
that
that
drive them.
Don't know that.
Okay, well, you're right. Nobody's looked at a plant's brain because they don't have one. But that we're the only animal that we know of, BlameGirl, that we can actually prove knows their existence begins and ends, and that puts a lot.
I'll accept that as a.
It puts a lot of pressure on us because now all of a sudden we're fearful, we're scared about everything, we're scared about death, we're scared about people attacking. Do you know that between 2001 and now, most Americans said they actually feared terrorism, even though the likelihood, the mathematical probability of them being killed by a terrorist is less than them being killed by a shark or by a vending machine falling on them. I mean, forget about the fact that you drive every day and you're taking your life in your hands. You're worried about them. We're going to spend trillions of dollars on wars to fight terrorism when it's more dangerous in your own home. It's fucking crazy. But that's what life is. We all know we're going to die, so we're all scared and we're all just huddled together. And it's my people are good and your people are bad because you look that way or you say that thing or you believe this thing. It's nonsense.
I agree. I think it's nonsense, and I'm ready to move on to something a little lighter, like our guest. All right, welcome the sneakerhead diva, Miss Alicia Simmons. Miracle. Sorry, I'm just not winning you over with my intros, right? No, but
you got to remember the miracles.
You have seen her at the Comedy Store in Hollywood, California, Greenwich Village Comedy Club, the Broadway Comedy Club, Hollywood Improv. I got to perform with her at the Boca Black Box. She's also on TV on TNT's show Claws and NCIS New Orleans. And she has appeared on the second season of Ava DuVernay's production Cherish the Day on the OWN network. All right. Welcome, Alicia.
Thank
you.
Thank you for having me.
That was a flawless read, Gio.
I'm trying my best.
Yes. Thank you for having me. That was a cool show in Boca. I was happy to start off the year with that show, and I've just been going ever since.
It was a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun.
How long have you been doing comedy? You've got quite the bio.
Ooh, that's telling my age. I've been doing it for a minute. I think I'm going on. I want to say like 18
You want to just give the year? Just give the year. Make people do
19 years. 19 years this year.
Oh wow!
I've been doing comedy. I've been performing since I was a teenager.
Right there. It's right after 9/11. She was like, "That's hilarious. I got to talk about it."
No, I was actually in California, in Los Angeles. And this is going to touch on like what kind of work I did, what kind of day job I had. I worked with kids in group homes. I worked with orphans, and at-risk youth in group homes. And I was an overnight. I worked overnight. I was an overnight counselor, and that morning, as I was transitioning these kids to school, I had the news on and saw the planes hit the towers. And at the time, my older sister was working in New York near the Twin Towers. So, and like you said, I did not get scared about being on a plane. I was like, nope, I want to get on a plane even more so now, because now I have to see people. And, but that, like, that's what I was doing. And I was performing, I was acting, doing commercials, and I had an overnight job. So I got auditioned during the day in Los Angeles. And
so you just admitted that the liberal left is transitioning kids. That's what you said? All right.
No. No.
You see,
You said you were
Alex,
transitioning
good job,
kids. I heard
Alex
it.
Jones.
Right.
Sorry,
Alicia,
Don't
got
take
in
that
me.
sound bite and twist it on a sister.
I
Hey.
was,
You know,
no, I
black
was.
ladies like the work, okay?
Alicia, what has been your favorite venue to perform at? And I will allow anything, anywhere, because we can't limit her to not improv. She's been doing it 20 years, so, and she's
I
not.
would have to say, like, my toughest room, which was a comedy union on Pico in Los Angeles.
Oh, okay.
And,
Comedy union.
Yes.
So
yes.
I like that though. She didn't go with her favorite room. She said her toughest room, and I love that. I love that answer.
Is that also your favorite?
It's my favorite too. Like, cause it's a Black club, and shout out to Black History Month, but it's a Black club owned by Enz Mitchell, and I got to see Kevin Hart there. Like, and it's a small room, so like
you have challenges with Black rooms,
huh?
Well,
I mean, I live in the Panhandle, but I'm just saying, like, I love doing Black rooms. I love doing.
But do you have challenges? I love doing them too, but I feel like
you don't.
I get more laughs at white rooms, ironically. You know what I mean?
I do better in Black rooms.
That's what I'm saying. Like, the comedy union. I started out when I started out. I like doing the comedy union because it challenged me to, because Black people are like, you better make me laugh, you know, and it challenged me to be funny and not rely on my performance, on being able to be a good performer and being able to have good stage presence. It really challenged me to really write jokes, to really hone in and write. So
that's why I love that you said the toughest room, because tough rooms make tough comics, and tough comics are hilarious. Always.
Yes.
It does not change.
Yeah. I mean,
it's just like going to the gym. Yeah, it sucks and it's hard, but it makes you stronger, you know? Yeah.
What don't kill you will make you stronger.
Well, all right. Let's not
don't kill me.
Yeah, I know. Let's not give Kanye any more. Let's not give Kanye any publicity here.
I need you right now.
He's a bit problematic if you haven't heard.
He got some issues going on. He dealing with a lot of trauma, a lot of grief and everything, but it doesn't excuse his actions and his behavior. Absolutely not.
Why? I just never understood.
No, stop it. We are not talking about Kanye. We talking about
haven't the Jews had it hard enough? Don't even. Why the Jews?
All right.
So, somebody go after Eskimos.
Harry, shut up. Okay, so since you've been doing comedy, where have your travels taken you? I mean, I can see it's been coast to coast, but what are some interesting places you've traveled to do comedy?
I did comedy in New Jersey for the first time when I was
interesting. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I grew up in Jersey, and my drama teacher from high school got to come see me, my sorority sisters and stuff.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So Jersey, some other places, some crazy. I went to Chicago for graduation, and like just kind of got on stage at like the Grape or something, one of those comedy clubs there.
Nice.
Real quick and everything. This is like years ago.
Big comedy hub there though.
Yeah, yes. I was only there for like probably like 4 or 5 days. So, and I was there for an event. So I had to be true to that event, but I was trying to sneak in. I'm addicted to getting on that stage and telling jokes. So I was like, let me just find a spot to go to. But yeah, Jersey was pretty tough, and it was Jamie Foxx's Laugh-A-Palooza, so Ed Lover was the host and all of that and stuff, so it was cool. But this was like years ago.
What do you expect? Jersey sucks.
I'm from Jersey. It does not suck now.
Let me tell you something.
I'm Jersey girl all the way. I'm gonna always say I'm from Jersey.
I've been to 48 out of 50 states, and there's 3 states that I know suck: Jersey, Mississippi, and Arkansas. And Arkansas is the worst one, and that's why I finished. If you've never been to Arkansas,
go to Arkansas.
Go to Arkansas
just on the level
of
Mississippi and Arkansas.
Savage.
Yeah, I will say this: they all make me cry.
Jersey is just North Mississippi. That's all it is.
I don't know what part of Jersey. Wait. What part of Jersey were you in? What part of Jersey?
what was it called? The big Newark.
That's where I'm from. I'm from Newark. So
Yeah.
you did a black room.
Alicia. It's very sad. The
I love black rooms, and for some reason, unbeknownst to me, I have no idea why, but black rooms love me, and I think
they do.
I think it's because
Terry, I don't understand.
What?
Because I asked him, I told him, he said he went to Newark, the big city. That's where I'm from. And I said, you must have did a black room because Newark is very black.
Yeah, but but black rooms love me. And I think it's because I always, every time I'm in a black room, or I'm sorry, urban crowd, every time I do an urban show, as they call it, I always start with the same thing. You don't scare me. You know what I mean? And it just always cuts the tension. And then I go into that first joke is like, I'm from Memphis. That means I'm the blackest person here. Right, exactly. And it always cuts and diffuses the tension. And now we're all just on the same level. And then it goes great normally, you know. Yeah. I can't think offhand of a bomb anytime I've ever bombed in a black room.
Right. That's how I am in a white room. I'm like, I'm part of y'all family.
Right.
Well, if you just take Caucasian.
If you just take the obvious, right? You just take the obvious. Everyone sees me. I look like this. I look like I'm here to foreclose on somebody's house, you know, and I look like this. So you're expecting this from me, and I give you something different. Say, oh no, we're all just mush and bags of chemicals. Okay. Like it doesn't matter.
We're moving on.
All right.
We got Terry talking about how we're all bags of meat. I can't.
Bags of chemicals.
All right,
we're bags of meat and chemicals.
What has been your favorite moment or your proudest moment since becoming a comedian?
It would have to be moving to Florida and being able to work on the show Claws with Niecy Nash. Okay, that was like my very. I can't imagine. Funny. Yeah, she is so.
She's great.
I love her some Niecy Nash.
She is so funny.
Reno 911. I remember.
Forget about that. She was just in Dahmer. She did that great show in Dahmer.
She's a drama actress now.
I know. She's got range, man.
Yeah. She's always has some good range because but it was that like I was like, man, you know, this is awesome.
I feel like I've come a long way.
Right. And being able to like, because I do stand up, because I'm on stage by myself, and well, I'm an actor too, but I'm able to hold my own when I get work, when I book work and work with big names and stuff, and not feel less than or everything, because I know I'm bringing something to the table as
You're bringing experience. You said 19 years. Yeah, you're bringing experience. Do you feel like your hard work pays off?
I feel like it is paying off, that it does pay off. I mean, like when I was in Los Angeles, for 15 years working. And I was in the Sunday company at the Growlings for like one season, but I learned so much. I got so much out of it. I got representation, like better representation. And at the time I just had my son and I just got married. So I feel like because I'm just staying consistent with my work ethic and doing work and delivering, doing stand-up, it keeps me motivated and it keeps me going, you know. I love like Lizzo's acceptance speech at the Grammys, like truly summed it up about being on the outside looking in, because a lot of people that I came up with, worked with, was in classes with, shows with, they're all doing their own shows and doing, you know, big stuff on television and all that good stuff. And I'm so happy for everybody. And I was just like, I'm on that outside looking in as I continue to come into view, you know, and I'm mature enough, you know, where I'm not going to be shaken, you know. I have a lot of experience. Yep.
So let's not get too far off Niecy Nash. Just because when I was watching Reno 911, right, when it was actually on the air every week, she was always my favorite. And I thought because of all the women on that show, she's definitely the one that slings the best pussy, right? Like, you can objectively out of anyone that's on that
don't
show
be
that's going
sexually
to break
harassing our
you.
guests, Terry.
I'm not.
You can't say the P word to them. Okay, Alicia, next.
I said pushy.
She's a married
I said
woman, Terry.
pushy.
All right. So, what's been your biggest challenge doing comedy?
I think my biggest challenge is just doing like more, just getting to more clubs because where I live at, and you know, traveling.
Why is that? Is it because there's not a lot of clubs, or there's some?
Like where I live there are a lot of shows that go on and everything, but we don't have like an in-house, in-town major comedy club. You know, so I have to travel to get to that, which is fine. And
you're a train ride from Manhattan, you know.
No, I'm in Panama City Beach.
Oh, I thought you said you were in Newark.
The Panhandle.
I'm from Newark. Keep up. Okay.
All right, I'm sorry. That's my bad.
No, but I mean, like, and the thing too is that, like, and this is my own thing, is that I'm working with a lot of comedians who are known in their areas of the Panhandle, or whatever, and who are or South Florida, some parts of South Florida and everything, and some who are starting out, and sometimes the professionalism is not there, you know. And so that
well, I mean, if you wanted
like
professionalism, you might have chosen. Yeah. You might have chosen.
I know, I'm corporate. I'm a corporate entertainer. I'm a corporate entertainer. I'm like, don't come to work drunk and fucked up. You know, if you hosting, make sure you remember my name. You know, if I'm your headliner. You know.
Oh my God. You got me shook on that one. I've hosted so many times.
No, like I recently did a show in Foley, Alabama, and the host, he was such a sweet guy. But he got up there, he had way too many drinks, and he could not remember my name to save his life.
Oh,
and I was just like, feeling. I'm already in like the asshole of Alabama, where I was like, it's all of like 2 miles this fucking town. And
that's
and
all of Alabama.
Could not remember my name. I was like, he could have just brought a cue card up or something. But and it was because he had way too many drinks. So I find that to be a little bit difficult. But other than that, I'm not dealing with a great deal of like what comedians that came far before us dealt with traveling and clubs and stuff. Have y'all read The Comic Insight by Franklin Ajay?
No, I haven't.
He does, like, he has this book. He does these interviews with like Seinfeld and Ellen DeGeneres and like all these old like comedians and stuff, new and old comedians. Same thing with Judge Apatow with his book.
Yeah, I was gonna say Judd Apatow.
You know, Judd Apatow. And it's like to hear some of the stuff they've gone through. I'm like, I don't have any. I feel very fortunate. You know, I feel very fortunate. I've had like stuff when I was younger where like, you know, I felt like I might have to fight somebody, and it's usually a dude. So I'm like, and I'm the youngest of 5 who has like used to having brothers and boy cousins come and beat somebody down. And I don't have that as a grown woman. So I got to maintain. And, but yeah, I can't really complain about anything that's going on because I feel like you know, it would just be complaining. So I don't
people.
Yeah.
Let
me get in here. I agree with that. I feel like anything that I have negative to say about what's going on, you're just complaining, you know? So you just kind of got to take it and just go with it.
Yeah.
Excellent. People with harder lives make better people, right? Just if you had a hard time coming up, you just are a better person. And that's just the way I'm always going to feel about it, because people who have it easy and Nerf lives is what I call them, right? Where you'll always see more problems with those people because they have to create problems. Everything has to be a thing because they never really had any adversity. They never really had to come up or deal with something that's beyond them. and that's where you get these little Nerf people with their Nerf lives. And that's the ones that are really fucking it up for everybody, in my opinion, because now we're all discussing things that don't really fucking matter. They just, it just doesn't,
like that kid that was 40 days in and had the time to fucking write you a screed of you used my joke. That's somebody that has not seen any hardship whatsoever.
He doesn't have real problems.
That was his hardship. That was his drama.
That was his real, because again, we're all drawn to the drama. We all have to, if you don't have a problem, you're gonna make one, because you gotta have some hill to climb.
If I have a problem with you, but I don't know how to confront you, I want to take it to somebody else who I feel is okay to confront. I've gotten that. And because I'm a Buddhist, and but nobody running over this Buddhist queen right here. But my thing is, there's so many people who are struggling emotionally that they will approach. I've gotten approached, and I've had to shut it down in the nicest of nastiest ways to let them know, don't ever. And what your quorum is, you're having a problem, but it's not me. It's something within you that you better take it to the person that's causing it. And that's just how I deal with it,
I'll say it right now and everybody will wake up to exactly what you're saying, because that's where every Karen comes from. Every Karen is somebody who's got something on their back, right, that they didn't like, but they didn't have the courage to confront that person, their husband's family, whatever the situation is. And they're going to take it out on this barista. All right. It might just be somebody who's politically upset or this or that, but they're going to let somebody know. And it's probably not the person that needs to know. It's probably going to be somebody working at McDonald's, and they're going to scream at them. Meanwhile, they're in there making slave labor, making your stupid food.
All right. I want to move this along. Alicia, tell us a little bit about yourself as an individual. You told us you're from Jersey. Do you have another job, or tell us about your family, other projects you got coming up, podcast?
So I moved here to the Panhandle because my mother-in-law is retired here, and my husband and I wanted to buy a home, and Los Angeles just priced us out with our son. And my mother-in-law we now own several rentals here on the beach. So I manage those, and that's my day job. So I'm self-employed. So I have a lot of free time to do my art. And but as I said, in LA and stuff, I worked in group homes. I did a lot of social work. I did a lot of jobs. I was like, hey, man.
Are you Jamaican? No, I'm just kidding.
No. You could have called me Jamaican. And I met my husband. We worked with adults with disabilities, and we met on a job. And that changed our lives. We were ready. Like, shout out to Terry for getting married, for eloping. Whoop,
That's
whoop.
right. That's what we do.
Right. That's a married man right there.
Yeah.
But yeah, so, and my mother-in-law is the only living grandparent, and my son is her only grandchild, So both of my parents are deceased, and my husband's father is deceased. So he gets to grow up with his grandmother right next door. She just bought the lot a year ago or so next door to us and built her house. So her boyfriend lived right next door to us. And my son is with her now in his acting class. She was able to take him so I could do this tonight. So I my life has been I've been very fortunate since I met my husband, and even before I met my husband, but even more so because I got family now. So I'm settled. So I got the support to be able to do all the stuff that I do comedy, acting, writing, and do all of that. So I feel good about it. But that's my background. I grew up in Newark, New Jersey, and then after college, I moved to San Francisco and studied there, and then moved to Los Angeles and got right on it. Just kept it going.
Hard working ever since.
Let me tell you, when you don't have no safety net, no parents to call and say, I'm short about my rent this month,
Yep.
You ready to sell everything. So many times I went to my jewelry box and say, I might have to hawk this diamond so my lights stay on in my roof. And everything always worked out for the better. So I'm like, I never had to sell no ass. So I'm happy about that.
You know what? Yeah, that I take offense to that, because you're not accepting the privilege that you could sell ass. Because so many times in my life, if I could have sold this ass, I'd have sold this ass probably half a dozen times over if I could have.
You would have got that tramp stamp.
Oh, you think because I look like I work in a bank that I've never had to pay my light bill?
You do not look like you work in a bank. Have you looked in the mirror today?
Well, I'm just saying,
like you're a truck driver.
If I take this hat off and shave this face, I can turn real white real quick. But that doesn't.
I've seen your Instagram.
That doesn't mean that I haven't paid my light bill at the check cashing store on more than one occasion. Like that.
No, that's
the struggle is real. The poor white trash is See, somebody needs to represent the poor white trash before Trump gets a hold of them again. That's what I'm saying.
He got them. He represents.
I know, but we can get them back, man. Guys, we can get them back.
I hate you. I'm trying to wrap this up. I want to eat. I don't know if y'all remember that. I told y'all that. Okay, so
well, stop bringing such entertaining guests.
I know.
I'm real quick. I have some shows coming up. No, sorry.
Not yet.
Okay, sorry.
Are you ready to play the blame game?
Yes.
We've been doing it.
Sorry.
Yes. Okay, so you use a hyphenated last name. Who's to blame?
I don't hyphenate my last name.
Okay,
and my father's
two last names. You use your husband's.
I have two. Okay. So this is the interesting story. You know how you like to say Alicia Simmons?
Yeah.
And it has a good ring to it. Simmons is my maiden name that my father gave me. And to honor my father, and I moved my maiden name to my middle name. So I officially changed I took away my middle name.
You didn't hyphenate it.
So it's always Alicia Simmons Miracle.
And now that you mentioned that your parents were both deceased, it makes sense that you wanted to honor that name so you could keep it. Tell us a little bit about your parents? What happened?
Well, my mom passed away at 33 from ovarian cancer. And my father went with her. He went with her. He just couldn't hang. He couldn't hang.
I get it.
It took him a long time to meet up with her, but he mentally he wasn't.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, my mom couldn't hang either. So.
Yeah, I tell you, a lot of my strength comes from my mother, who was a Jehovah's Witness, doing Bible study with us
when you experienced this.
I turned 12 the year that she died. So it's been a long time without my parents. And I'm like, I tell you, like, I've truly have been taken care of. I'm very fortunate because my grandmother, after my sister and I, because my brothers just hit the streets because we're in Newark, so they just hit the streets.
Yeah.
Like, my sister and I were homeless. Like,
were they
graduating from junior high, and I was at elementary school, and we was homeless for a good 2 years before.
Were they in the car theft ring? Did they get involved in that?
Dealing drugs, selling drugs.
Yeah, because in the 90s, I know that Newark was the car theft capital of the country. It was like a whole industry.
Yeah,
I remember that. Yeah,
they did a movie about it.
Yeah, I saw that.
They did a movie about it.
I had it on VHS.
The girl that dies, like when they show that real footage of the young woman that died in the car, I went to high school with her.
Wow,
she was
really?
Pregnant, and she was pregnant. Yeah. So I mean, like my fortune is that I realized that I really wanted to act and perform, and I was on the drama team in high school, and my drama teacher, Miss Antoinette Baskerville Richardson, now was like a mother to so many of us who didn't really have parents. And some people that was on the team with me, their parents were strung out on drugs, didn't even know. I didn't even know that because they showed up and showed out, and we was like the top team in our state by like, you know, we was just known. We was known throughout the state for winning awards. And my drama teacher, she helped me get into college and made sure I was good, you know.
Well, it sounds like it's no surprise why you got into like the group home thing. That seems like you can empathize with maybe kids that are struggling like that, you know?
Oh yeah, for sure. That's like one of my missions. And my mother-in-law, we was talking about that. We want to buy a certain part of land here on the beach and allow it to be a transition home for kids in foster care that age out of foster care, because there's so many homeless youth. And then
you know, the fact that you want to give them a nice piece of property to kind of like transition with, you know, because just having the beautiful scenery can really affect you.
Well, it just comes full circle. It just seems like it's coming full circle, which is great. And that's the kind of stuff we need to hear about. Oh, and by the way, if you want to watch that movie we were talking about, it's called New Jersey Drive.
Yeah,
New Jersey Drive. I do. I heard y'all. I was like, I don't know what movie that is.
It's great. It's a great. I had it on VHS. So that's
all right. Terry, I mean, not Terry. It's not your turn, Terry. Alicia, do you have anything you want to promote? Any upcoming shows? Give us your social medias. Any movies or TV shows you're in?
I want to be at the Village in St. Andrews on Friday. You can go to Panama City Comedy to get tickets and check me out there. I'm going to be at a club in Pensacola on the 24th. I'm going to be in New York the weekend of the 19th. But that's not going to be an open show, but I'm going to be doing like a little private event there. And what else I got going on? I'll be shooting a film in the spring. Well, I don't know. It's set in the 1800s. So a sister trying to shed some pounds, because I know Black people wasn't this chubby in the 1800s. So I wanna
only the best ones.
I'm up here about to try to do that Beyonce, baby. Trying to not eat any sugar and drink water and eat nothing but vegetables. But so I want to be working throughout the year, and just like check me out on Instagram, Alicia Miracle 33 on Instagram, and my Facebook is Alicia Simmons Miracle Comedian. So you can check me out and see what's all going on. I'll be posting everything up on there. So that's what's up.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well,
respect
stay here. Thank you you've been great. I just want to let Terry Wynn get his words for white people in before we wrap up.
Absolutely.
Oh, and by the way, my new wife will be hyphenating her name as well, for very similar reasons. She's an only child, and she said, well, you know, I don't want my family name to die with me. And I was like, that's fine. I could give a shit.
So she gonna move her maiden name to her middle name.
I guess. I don't know. I told her she didn't have to change anything. I don't really care. I don't believe in that archaic bullshit. But
well, how woke are you, Terry?
What's that?
I said, how woke are you?
I don't give a shit about being woke either. I don't care. No, it's less paperwork. You're a paralegal. You should know. It's paperwork, and it's just pain in the ass is all it is.
All right. What are your words for white people today?
Okay. Words for white people. This week, we're going to talk about something very specific, and we came up before organically, but a bag of meat and chemicals. That's what we're going to talk about, because one of my closest friends and my podcast co-host hit me up earlier this week because, again, she loves murder, and she loves it when people get murdered, especially women. She loves following you love it. You follow these murder investigations constantly. You watch these murder shows all the time.
One Idaho murder mystery case, and now I love murder. Shut up. Terry.
Okay. No, okay. We're not going to get into it, but because I've always said that, hey, we're just bags of meat and chemicals. It doesn't matter. And then the Ohio murder suspect guy apparently said, hey man, they're just meat. It doesn't matter. And so she equivocates that to what I say. I say we're bags of meat and chemicals for a very specific reason. And I think it's a reason that everybody should adopt. It's because at the core of us, that's all we are. So everything we believe in, all these things we fight for and fight against each other for, and we're always constantly trying to be the best and better than this. And that's where you get every problem, from greed to racism to misogyny. All of this comes from my bag of meat and chemicals is better than yours. And it's bullshit. It's absolute bullshit. Whatever you believe, whatever you want to believe, have that for yourself, but stop projecting it onto everyone else that's around you, because you're just a bag of meat and chemicals. We know that for sure. Now, whether your religion's right, whether your ideology is right, whether the things you work for are right, we don't know. Nobody knows this for sure. I've seen people work their whole lives to try and do good and end up doing bad just because it's an accident. And I've seen people work their whole lives trying to scam others and do bad and end up doing something good. It's a fucking crapshoot. But what we do know is that you and I and everyone else that we come in contact with is a bag of meat and chemicals. And I think about this just because it humanizes us. And I think that humanizing ourselves and each other is what could actually bring us together. Because when we all realize that at the end of the day, we're dust and memories, that's it. And the more we can do that, I really feel like the closer we'll come together. I really do. Because that's when you lose all these insignificant little trappings about what color you are, or where you grew up, or what country you're from, or what you believe. It's all bullshit. Right now, what we know for sure that's in front of our face is, I'm a bag of meat and chemicals, and so are you. I'm dust and memories, and so are you. So why can't we just focus on that, come together, and not compare our friends to murderers?
Well, look, it's because my friend thinks comparing me to a bag of meat and chemicals somehow humanizes me.
You're not special. You're not special.
You don't need to say it that way in order to say that we're all equal. That's what you're trying to say, is we're all equal. And I appreciate that notion, Terry, but the way you're saying it dehumanizes us, and that's fine for you.
I think it humanizes
because you've been human the whole time, but not for me as a Black woman. So don't do that. We're not just bags of meat and chemicals. We're fucking
yes, we are. No, we're all
cartilage and bone.
That's all we got.
Skeleton, brain matter.
That's all meat. We're just meat.
It's all edible. It's all edible to you.
If you died in a field tomorrow, what's going to eat you? Everything. Everything's going to eat you. And that's
the same way they'd eat anyone else, unless you're
that's exactly my point. Is the same worms that eat me will eat Donald Trump and eat every other man.
It's a weird way to say we're equal, but we're human, because bags of meat and chemicals don't sound like that. That sounds like something I might eat. You know.
Well, you know what? Hey, the time for subtlety is over. Okay, right. There's no subtlety
Gary,
left.
Do you have any shows coming up this week?
No, I don't have any shows coming up. I do want to do one more before I leave South Florida. I don't know where I'm going.
Keep us posted on it.
I would like to, but I don't know where I'm going or even where I'd be welcome. But buy the book on Amazon, Unclaimed Ashes. Still on sale, hardcover, paperback, Kindle, the whole bit. So get on Amazon and buy the book. Alicia, you've been one of my favorite guests ever in the in the almost 3 years we've been doing this. You're one of my favorite guests ever. We're gonna have you back on pretty soon because I like arguing with you.
Yes, I like debate. I love this. Is great. Yeah. This is great. You always need people who read and pay attention to debate issues.
I like that. No, you like that about you as a guest. You came into this knowledgeable. You sound like
you came into this ready. You came into this being like, "Yep, I totally understand what this is about, and I'm down to clown." That's what it was.
Tell them one more time where they can catch you
I'll be at the Little Village in St. Andrews on Friday. I'll be at the Vinyl in April. In Pensacola. I'll be at another club in Pensacola. I just didn't write it down because I wasn't sure. I forgot that I was on the show.
But this Friday they can catch you
at St. Andrews at the Little Village in St. Andrews. And
Be
everybody
in
this area know exactly. And go to Panama City Comedy to see any upcoming shows that I'm on.
All right. I don't have anything myself, but I will catch you all next